Welcome back, everybody. A friend of mine picked this radio up at a yard sale the other day, and it worked and all that. And then all of a sudden, I had told him to don't be playing it and everything. Then he called me and he said, well, all it does is buzz. Can you take a look at it? I said, sure. So I picked it up. I was at field day yesterday and picked it up. And this is a Stewart Warner model 62 TC16. It was made right around 1946 or so. The knobs are in good shape. The cabinet is in real good shape. I think a good cleanup. The grill cloth looks pretty decent. There's some finish coming off here and maybe here, but this is normal wear around the volume control. And that's okay. We'll see. I don't think he wants to do a whole lot to it. I told him I would do an assessment and let him know how much it would cost, and he's probably going to go ahead and let me work on it anyway. I probably will, whether I charge him any. I'm not going to charge him any labor just for the parts. This is very similar in size and function as the radio. It was a Firestone Air Chief that I did back probably 5-6 years ago. It's got the push buttons. One of the things, when it was just buzzing, this has to be, the best I can tell right now, this one has to be mashed, otherwise you're in the program stage. So I was able to connect an antenna. I put it through the dim bulb variac, mashed that. It did have a buzz, but as I would play with the volume knob, it would quit humming. So possibly dirty / bad volume control. May have to replace it. I'm gonna try cleaning it first. Let me flip this around back and show you the back side of it. As you can see, this one has a back on it and only one screw missing out of it, which is a good sign. It has a broken cable, but it was just a ground wire attached to chassis here. The schematic we'll look at here. Not a very good schematic, but it's the best I've got. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tubes. Uses a 5Y3 rectifier, 6K7 RF amp, detector oscillator 6SA7, first or the IF and second detector ABC is the 6SF7. The first audio is 6SK7, and the output is the 6K6. It does have a dynamic electromagnetic speaker. Of course, got the push button over here. It's small, but it lists all the coils and their connections anyway. I don't see any resistances, but we can just check them for continuity. But it is playing. I have had it playing, so we're gonna just go in it and look at it and check it out. Let me show you the very back of it. Okay, as you can see, the model 62 TC16, code 9023 Charlie, and there is the pre-programming where you tune for the programming. There's the speaker plug, which I like that. That'll make it easy to take the out of the cabinet. And this piece of wood right here, I believe, is a antenna, which is part of the tune circuit in the very back. For the you can see it there. So let's take the back off the rest of the way and see what we get into. All right, taking the screws out, put them in my little baggie. Make sure I don't lose them. So let's see what we have in here. All right. Let's see if we can see inside here. May have to lower this just a bit. Let me get rid of some light here. I'm not used to filming in workbench number 2, but it looks relatively clean. Let me see if we can get in here and look at some stuff. There's the speaker up in here. There's a naked wire and another naked wire. Looks like they may have tried to put some tape on it. I don't know why those two places, unless it's got caught somewhere in under this piece of wood. I don't know. But we'll just have to investigate. Relatively clean. This has got an inductor. Let me get a flashlight and show you. So you can see this has been well kept. This is clean inside here. We've got the inductor tuning, which is always nice. Got a wire coming out here somewhere. Here it is, which I believe may be to connect the external. You know, this may be connected somewhere on, I believe that's made to be as a clip somewhere that you just clip an external antenna, but there's quite a bit of wire on this, so we'll have to explore it as we get it out. What I'm planning on doing is go ahead and remove it from the cabinet. We can see a little bit better. Okay, I marked the wires. There was a green, black, and blue wire, and it appears that there are 4 loops. If you look, the green goes approximately 2 to the black one, which is ground, and then the blue one goes 2 loops to the black one, which is ground, as you can see right here. So we'll put this aside, and because that's part of the circuit itself, and we'll have to have that when we fire it up. But I'm seeing some rat pellets, so it was a clean environment, but there was mice apparently. But I don't see any rust or any signs of any nest, but that doesn't mean anything. When we get in there, it may be underneath it. Okay, I took the knobs off, 2 screws. There was 4, originally 4 on the bottom, and so I took 2 out, and here we go. And you're looking at the bottom of it the same as me. I see some melted wax and some caps, but nothing looks really rough. Let me see. There's wires coming every which way. Let's set this in here for now. Let's see if we can disconnect all these wires here. that's hanging up in the, here's the plug. We'll probably want to put a new plug on this. It looks like it's okay, but I'd like to put a polarized on it. This is, I believe this is the original cord. So let's see. This is just stapled in the top. Up in here, it's just a staple for this wire. And this is, looks like a connector here. And this plugs in here, brown to brown. And see if all this will allow me to take the chassis out and leave this wire, which is, I believe this is to connect up an external antenna. I believe that's what that's for. All right, let me move this out of the way and we'll inspect the cabinet and the chassis separate. Bottom of the chassis, as you can see, upside down, it's got the tube layout. Some dirt, we'll just have to clean that up. It's not in real bad shape at all, really not. The back helped a whole lot, but there was access for around here, around the antenna. I don't particularly care for these. This one's missing. They make plastic ones. We can probably replace those. Let me flip it over and look at the front. While we're here, let's look at the speaker. Speaker cone looks pretty decent, and we can do the electronic checks. We can check the speaker coil and the output transformer there. Other than the cleanup, that looks pretty good. Here's a better view of the label on the bottom. All the patents involved. You can see there was 4 screws, only 2. These have got the labels. You can see the wear around here, and I think that's fine. I think we're just going to be able to clean this up. The escutcheon is in great shape. The push buttons go through here. Has place for, I'm wondering if that's plastic. Yeah, I believe that's plastic. I thought it was metal there for a second. But it has place for those labels of different stations. I've got some somewhere, but I don't have any. And we'll see what we can go back with there. But, you know, there's the tone. You got your bass, music, speech. You got your tuning. You got your shortwave and your broadcast. And, of course, your volume control there. These did have, 3 of them had felt washers on them. So that typically you can see how smooth. You can probably tell which one didn't have it. All right, grill cloth is in pretty decent shape. Little rag there, but it's not bad. I don't think we're going to have to do anything with that. I don't particularly care for. I mean, these are gorgeous. I mean, these are gorgeous, but with a corner like this, it's real easy to get your fingers through that, and you know, you just don't want that to happen. Okay, we're looking down on the chassis, and I apologize, my tripod doesn't go high enough here, so down on workbench number 2. So here's the rectifier tube, the 5Y 3 here. The filter can, which has 3 capacitors in it, which has 10 and a couple of 20s. The 10 and the 20, they're rated at 400 volts for the filter capacitor, and then in the output circuit, on the output tube on the I think there's a 20 microfarad at 25 volts on it. Then we switch over here. This is the 6SK7, the RF amplifier tube, and then this is the first detector. I'm supposed to have a pointer, right? I get scolded sometimes. But that's the first detector oscillator tube. Here is the 6SF7, the IF and second detector, and AVC tube. Of course, this is the first audio amp tube, the 6K7. And then this is the output tube, which is the 6K6. Of course, here are the IFs. A little bit of dirt, not too bad. Let's flip it over. See what we come up with. All right, let's take a look inside here. Here's the volume controlling that's in question. It's got the switch. I believe, the best I can tell, it's a 500 meg ohm. Look like all the paper caps are original. Doesn't seem to be any heating of any sorts other than down in the very bottom here. Maybe you can see it, and I can zoom it in right there. You can see this is recent. This is caused from turning on the radio, and this is a leaky capacitor, and it's getting hot. So that's one of the reasons you don't turn these radios on. Of course, here's the band switch. Well, I guess it'd help if I zoom back out, right? Yeah. But you got your band switch, and then this is your tuning, and then this is your volume or your tone control here, which is basically a couple of resistors and a capacitor being switched in and out. And if I had you on camera, it would be great. But this is, I've done this. This is very similar to the, like I said, the Firestone Air Chief. The capacitors down in here are very difficult to get to. You have to remove this, and when you do that, you run the risk of this wiring. So we'll have to be very careful with this. But I'm not quite sure where we're going to start with this, because I know it plays. I know it's got a hum when we work with the volume control. I think one of the first things we're going to do is check the speaker. I'm pretty sure it's going to be okay, but we'll get some data on it. I don't see any ohm reading, resistance readings on them, DC. So I'll just document some of that, and then we'll probably pull this out and see if we can clean this. And if we can't clean it, then we will see if we can order us one. That's, I think they're $3, but by the time you pay shipping, it brings them up $8, $9. So, but you know, you can't run down Radio Shack anymore and just pick things up like that. I can't, not where I live. Anyway, that's where we're at. That's the kind of the initial assessment. But it's going to be real tight fitting in here, trying to get these capacitors, and I really feel like they need to be. And on this particular model, I believe, if I remember correctly, here's another one that's melding. So I believe with the Firestone, I used the pigtail method, the curly Q method of cutting the lead, making the curly Q pigtail, and sorting it in that way. That way you can get your real skinny soldering iron down in there without messing a lot of things up. So I think that's probably the route we're going to take. All right, let's get after it. Checking the speaker out. I took and I have numbered. These are numbered, and so on the plug, so I just transferred the numbers to the schematic. There is a value for the speaker coil, and it says 1,000 ohms. Now the output primary doesn't say anything, so there you go. So let's see. So if we're going to check this 1,000 ohms, pins 1 and 6, which will be the larger ones, and so maybe you can see there. Had turned my air off. It was stuffy in here. So I'm showing 0.938K, which is right at 1,000. That 1,000 ohms is probably a hot coil. And then the primary of that, there's no reading, but that's pin 2 and pin 5. Let's see, did I show it to you? Where's it on the schematic? Yeah, it's right up there, as you can see. So what do we say, 2 and 5? So this is 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we're reading right at 3.4K for the primary of that DC. All right, we know it's probably okay because it was working earlier. So we'll move on, do something else now, see what we can get into. I'm taking these nuts off the back that's holding this coil and capacitor tuning circuits for the push button control, and we can roll that back and maybe put it up here somehow. Just fold it back and tape it up here like that, and be able to get inside here to get these hard to get capacitors. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start over here and move over and try to recap every one of these while I've got it here. Also looking, the right here is the filter cap here. I don't think I'm going to restuff this. I'm thinking that I may have enough room in this area here, because this is just a junction for the power itself. I think I can relocate this somewhere else, perhaps here, and since this is a junction, just a junction here, that's all that is, I can probably relocate that, put another terminal strip here in this place, put the filter caps here, and replace and just use this, pull the wires from here and move it over to here, and just leave this in place, and just build a new filter cap filter capacitor bank right here. Let's look at our output tube and see where it's at, and see if we can get access to put that capacitor on it. I'm going to stop right here. I like to keep my videos right around 20 minutes or so. Just as a spoiler alert, I've already finished this radio, so be looking for part 2. It should be coming out fairly soon also. So from Larry from the hills of Tennessee, thanks for watching.